Good morning children, welcome to 7th standard online science class. Today we are going to start the new unit physical and chemical changes. So changes are the integral part of nature, isn't it? Uh, Changes are the integral part of nature. They take place every moment around us. Examples are melting of ice, freezing of water, ripening of fruit, etc. Okay, this changes we are in this chapter we are going to discuss about the type of changes. We can broadly classify the changes as reversible and irreversible changes. Reversible changes means a change is said to be reversible when the opposite change can be brought about by the reversing the conditions. Okay, so once the change is made and if you are able to uh, and once the change has happened and the product is brought, the product from the product, when you are able to bring back the original position, then you call it as reversible change. See, look at this picture. In this picture, this is the heating and cooling of a heater's element. Okay, this is the heater's element which when you switch on the current, the element gets heated. When you switch off the element once again, it gets cooled down. So here, after, even though the change was made, but even though the change is made, it has retained its original position. So such type of changes are called as reversible changes. Reversible changes. You understood, children? Yes. What may be the irreversible change? Irreversible changes are the changes when the opposite change cannot be brought about by reversing the condition. See, take the example of growth of a plant. See, once the plant has grown, can you bring the plant again to the seed position? From the plant, a new seed can be produced, but the same plant cannot be converted into a seed, isn't it? So such changes are called as irreversible changes. Some examples, other examples are curdling of milk, photosynthesis in plants, digestion of food in our body, clotting of blood, the growth of plants and animals, etc. This is about irreversible changes. So apart from reversible and irreversible changes, we have another type of changes also. So look at this picture. This is an rusted iron, isn't it? Rusted iron nail. So this rusting is also a change. Rusting is also a change. What sort of change it is? It is actually, we were talking about reversible and irreversible, right? So this is an irreversible change. Am I right, children? Once the rust formed as cannot be brought as iron, so it is an irreversible change. Do you understand what is irreversible change? Hope you so. So this change can also be termed as undesirable change. Undesirable, which is not favor for us. Okay, undesirable changes are the changes which are not favor for us. Okay, such changes are called undesirable changes. So this actually damages the iron parts, isn't it? So it is an unfavorable, that is undesirable change. So what is next one? So desirable changes are the changes which are favor for us, which do favor for us. For example, the growth of plants. The growth of plants, the seed has to grow, isn't it? So that only we get a plant. From the plant we get fruits, flowers and vegetables, etc. So the seed has to grow. So growth of plant is a desirable change. So those changes which are favorable for us are called as to be desirable changes. Other examples are cooking food, ripening of fruits are the examples for desirable changes. Hope you have understood about the desirable and undesirable changes, right, children? Now we are going to focus on the other type of change, which is called as physical and chemical changes. So physical and chemical changes. What are physical changes? Physical changes are the changes in which no new substance are formed and which can be reversed by reversing the condition is called a physical change. So because of as a result of the change, no new substance will be formed. At the same time, it is a reversible one. Okay, physical changes are reversible one. For example, the glowing of a heater or a bulb. Once you switch on the bulb, it will glow. If you switch off, the glow will vanish, isn't it? So it is a physical change. No new substance is formed there. Similarly, the melting of ice or the freezing of liquid is also a reversible, that is physical changes. Okay, children. Sublimation. So what is sublimation? Sublimation is conversion of solid state into gaseous state without converting into liquid. That is called sublimation. Okay, the solids directly converted into gaseous state. For example, camphor. Camphor. It is not converted into liquid, but rather it directly converted into gas. So that is called what? Sublimation. So sublimation is also a physical change. You understood? And also drying of clothes. Evaporation and boiling of liquid. All these are examples for physical changes. Drying of clothes, evaporation and boiling of liquids are examples for physical changes. So physical changes, it is a reversible change and no new product is formed. You understood about this physical change, children? Hope you have. Now chemical changes. So what are chemical changes? Chemical changes are the changes in which new substances are formed and which cannot be reversed by reversing the conditions is called chemical change. So chemical changes are irreversible. As a result of chemical change, new substances will be formed. For example, the burning of coal, paper or wood is a chemical change. It's a chemical change, right? So why we are saying it is a chemical change? Because of this burning, a new substance, that is ash, is formed. Am I right? Ash is formed, and also you cannot get back the wood or paper from the ash. So it is an irreversible change. So this is the best example for chemical changes. Apart from this burning, we also have rusting, boiling of egg, curdling of milk, digestion, fermentation, all these photosynthesis, all these are examples for respiration. Even respiration is also a best example for this chemical changes. Keep in mind, chemical changes, new substances will be formed. Okay, new substances will be formed, and what happened? They are all irreversible. You cannot get back the original product. So such changes are called chemical changes. Do you understand, children? So what are the difference between the physical changes and the chemical changes? What are the difference between physical changes and chemical changes? Physical change is temporary. Physical changes temporary. Okay. So for a short period of time only these changes will be happening. And whereas chemical changes are permanent. Chemical changes are permanent. Physical changes are irreversible. That is, original product can be brought back. But chemical changes are irreversible. Original product cannot be brought back. No new substances will be formed. No new substances will be formed in the case of physical changes. Okay. But in the case of chemical changes, new substances will be formed. New substances will be formed. Then what about the next one? The next one is in a physical change, the mass of the substance does not changes. Mass of the substance does not changes. Okay. Mass of the substance which is involved in the physical change will not get changed. Okay, the mass retains the same, whereas in the case of chemical change, the mass of the individual substance undergo a chemical change. Okay, is altered. So though the mass of the individual substances which are undergoing a chemical change is altered because of chemical change. Do you understand? See, for example, the burning of wood. The wood has mass, higher mass when you compare to the ash. After burning, it will turn into ash. So, is the mass of the ash and the wood are same? No, they are different, isn't it? So, the mass get changed, altered there in the case of chemical change. Do you understood the today's lesson, children? Hope you have understood thoroughly. So, do your assignment, report in the group without fail, children. Thank you. Meet you again in the next class.